I don't know why I've waited so long to do this, but I'm doing it today. It's a beautiful day. Here is the A9 camshaft in my hand. Moped's ready to go. It's a beautiful day. Let's get started. First things first, we got to drain the oil out this bike. All right, after you got all the oil drained out, you want to go ahead and take off your seat, the seat bucket, and this plastic fairing in the front down here. Once you have that bucket off and that plastic fairing in the front here, the next step is going to be to take out your spark plug. Alright, so the next thing you do after you take out your spark plug is you want to separate the carburetor from the engine at the top here. So I just take out these two bolts here and it disconnects the throttle body so that I can get to the plastics underneath it so we can get to the engine. Alright, once you got your bolts off, this throttle body and carburetor at the same time just pulls right off by itself like that. Look, you just pull it right off like that. Alright, so now you want to take off your fan shroud here. So once you got this fan shroud off, this is what you'll be looking at. This is your fan, and here is something very important. This is where your top dead center play happens. You can see that over here, there's a T and there's an F. There's this line in this case right here. It's very easy to see. There's no other line. You want to line up this T with that dash next to it with this little tab that comes out here. It's easy to turn. You want to get your engine lined up with that. Get it as close as you can get it on that T. You can even rotate the whole engine if you want. You know, just like this. And there it is. So I gave it one full crank and it turned around and it is now perfectly lined up with that. All right, so once you turned your engine to top dead center, you want to take off this plastic housing. There's one bolt right there, and then there's one bolt right there, and this plastic unit will come off. All right, so once you got that plastic housing off, there's a rubber gasket around here too. That just comes off real easy. This is the next step, and this is a very important step, all right? This right here is your chain tensioner. If you were to loosen these two bolts outside of it before you loosen this top one, you would have to put it inside of a vise, clamp it together, and this thing is aluminum, and you would destroy this thing. It would be a costly mistake. Crack this bolt right now. Boom. You just want to unscrew this. You want to get this loose so the pressure on that chain doesn't screw you up. All right, so now that you got that chain tensioner off back there, you want to take off these 4 bolts that are connected to the head. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts you need to get off. So now that you have your bolts taken out of your head, there's a vacuum line on top of this, but don't really worry about that. You see how mine is pointed to the ground right there? I got it pointed to the ground and up into this head. So it's connected to nothing but this hose. So you don't really got to stress about it. So now this will just slide off just like that. So as you can see, here is the outside of the camshaft. This is where the chain connects to it. But the cam itself is located underneath these rockers. I found another proper socket to fit this. So we're back in business. So let's get these bolts off. So everything is off, right? Now you're left with this. So this simply, but look, pay attention to this. All right, you see how everything is upside down? How there's an F here, E here, X here, and S here? I can't tell you exactly what that means, but I can tell you this. Make sure that that goes back on in this exact order. But you just simply pull this off. Okay, bam, and that's it. There she is. There is the camshaft. That chain is already loosened up from here, but all right, here we go. So this is very important. Here it goes. Do not let this chain drop into this engine, because if this chain drops all the way into the bottom back there, this is gonna go from an easy job to a pain in the ass real quick, okay? But I can see a visible difference between this A9 and this stock. So let's get this thrown in here right now and get this thing running. Now you don't necessarily have to, but it's recommended. I'm gonna use some Lucas assembly lube on the camshaft here, on the bearings, just basically where any metal is touching metal, like right here and right here. And I'm just gonna throw some just along the cam itself. So that's always a good move right here. Good stuff. This is a very important step right here. So that's the new camshaft that's in there, but this is the step that needs to be done, absolutely, or your bike will not run. I can't tell you exactly what it means, but I'll tell you that you see these two small holes on the side, this left one and this right one? When you put this cam inside of the head up here, you need to have those two little holes align with the side of that block. Do you see what I mean about how these holes are aligned with this block here? This big hole is going to point straight forward, and these two holes in the side right here is going to be sitting like this, align with that block. Okay, make sure that that is set to this position, and make sure over here that this is still on top dead center. It moved a little bit, but that's okay. It just moves a little bit on its own. So check and check. This is pretty important as well. So you want to torque down these 4 bolts here, because it basically holds together all of this to 14 pounds. You want to go boom to 14, boom to 14, boom to 14, boom to 14 in an X pattern. All right, once you got those tight, you want to put your head back on. All right, so once you got your head back on, you want to put your rubber gasket back on. Make sure that it is sealed all the way around on the top and the bottom. You'll know when it's on there. All right, so now comes the time to put this back in, the chain tensioner. Now, this is pretty easy to do. What you want to do at this point, I got to use 2 hands for this, but you can see. You want to unscrew this, right? Now remember, there's a spring inside of here, so it's going to push out a little bit. But you're going to take it out. It's going to look just like that. Now, you need to get this back all the way in, because this is what's putting pressure on the chain. But if you look, there's a little tab. You see this tab right here? So you want to pull back on it just like that, right? With the tip of your finger or tool, and push this in as far as it goes. It's kind of tricky, but there it goes, right? Boom. Now, don't put the spring in right now, right here. Put the spring on over at the bike. Okay, so once it's secure and tight, this is when you get your spring and your bolt, and you insert it in the top. And when you start pushing it down, you will hear it click into place. That's a good sound. When you push this in here, it's clicking. You hear it? So once you get that spring pressed down in there and this is threaded in, you can come back with the tool. I got the wrong size socket. And tighten this down. I'm just doing this to get it down all the way, and you can still hear it clicking. When you tighten this, you're gonna hear it click. That's a good thing. All right, tighten her down. Don't strip it out though, remember. You'll feel it get tight. So it totally seems like something is wrong. Oh man, what's wrong? I didn't do anything wrong. Something's wrong. I don't have any pressure on my chain. Oh man, what the fuck? This is what I'm talking about, dude. Sorry for the freak out right now, but something's wrong. Look, I stripped it. I stripped it all the way out, dude. Look at this. There's metal shavings. Oh my goodness, man. These things are horrible. I swear to God. This is a big problem right now. This is a huge, huge problem. I didn't do anything. You see me freaking tighten it with my fingers. This is what I'm talking about. This is Chinese bullshit at its finest. I didn't do shit. And it just stripped itself out, man. Holy crap. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to ride this bike. so we're just gonna try to duct tape this thing down. This is not recommended at all. As you can see, these Chinese bikes just suck and they break very easily. So I've never ran into this problem ever. Here we go. I don't know, man. I really don't. We're just gonna try this duct tape. Fuck it, right? All right. All right, my iPhone cloud storage is full right now, so I'd have to edit everything in order to delete footage. So I'm gonna try to hurry up and get this thing started. I'm just gonna put everything together. I'm not gonna show you how to do that. You can understand, it's pretty easy. But I'm gonna put everything together and I'm gonna film the startup, okay? I'm very nervous about starting it because of that whole chain issue. So I don't know, but I put oil in it, everything's back together. It's ready to be started right now, so let's do it, man. I'm just worried about that freaking chain tensioner. On. We gotta build gas pressure too. There it goes. Okay. All right. Yeah. All right, so she runs, man. Heck yeah. She doesn't sound any different at idle. But I'm gonna let her run because I got new oil in there. So we're gonna let her run for a minute and chill out and just get everything moving. All right, let's give it some gas. All right, so there's a weird sound coming out the back. Never mind, it went away. All right, sweet. So it handles gas. I'm just really stressed out about this chain tensioner. I don't know how that's gonna, is it gonna pop out or something? I don't know, but. All right, we're gonna let her warm up and stuff still. She takes gas good. So I'm excited. All right, so she's all back together. I'm about to rip her for a cruise. My valves need to be adjusted. Can you hear that tick, tick, tick? Those are my valves in there. I should have adjusted them, but it's okay. I'll do that later. But let's take her for a rip. All right, so we're out here cruising on the ped right now. Does it make a difference? Kinda, like in the low end. Yeah. Okay. So there's not much of a difference. It's subtle, but it is noticeable. You get more acceleration when you take off like that. Yeah, definitely. Oh, Mike, what's up, man? Yeah, this thing's built now, boy. That's my buddy Mike. He's the one who got me to sell this, or got me this moped. Anyways, yeah, dude, it definitely has more acceleration. My speedometer is broken, so that sucks, but I'm just going by a butt dyno right now. Yeah, definitely. Now, in the top end, I don't know, but I will post the picture in this video of it. The last speed I was at was 46.5 miles per hour. I'm not expecting top end at all from this camshaft, but I will say that acceleration, there is a difference. Yeah, it picks up a lot more. It's not like dramatic. It's definitely not dramatic, but it's noticeable. So that's a plus right there, and it cost me $11 in about an hour of time, hour and a half. But I want to see what it does in the top end too, and I want to see what it sounds like at high RPM. So I'll film something like that as well. But definitely for acceleration, I notice a pull. Yeah, that's good. Good stuff.
No hands.